You know where you are!
This is Appetite for Distortion.
Welcome to the podcast, Appetite for Distortion, episode number 484. My name is Brando. His name is Harrison Rex, aka Baby Brownstone. But if you're just listening, he may not say anything because he's drinking a big fat bottle right now. He can say bottle. Well, he actually says bottle. Cat, no. I'm taking my Axel Funko and I'm like, in his face. I'm like, say Axel, Axel. And he'll just come back with cat. It's close enough. Oh boy, when he starts saying Slash and Axel, you guys are gonna get so annoyed with me with all the baby content. Anyway, that's in the future. What else is in the future that we know is gonna happen? Guns N' Roses back out on tour in 2025. Now, this has been, before we get into the details, this has been long rumored. It's not a surprise, but we were waiting, the fans, were waiting in quite some, with some anticipation about when is this announcement going to happen. You know, all this year we knew GNR was taking off. Slash has said that, Duff has said that next year, 2025, is going to be the year of Guns N' Roses, and they're telling the truth. So finally, a tour announcement. But let's backtrack because as I'm recording this, this is what, December 11th. It's almost the new year already. So actually, maybe like a week ago or so, you see, you know, I don't know, people send it to me because I'm not seeing these things that are leaked. I'm like nowhere where these things would leak. But apparently on Guns N' Roses website, maybe some Live Nation website, that dates were posted and quickly taken down. Now, I don't know how those of you found it or you get alerts if there's ever an update on the Guns N' Roses website. I don't know how you computer geniuses get this stuff. So I see this poster, which ends up being the real poster for the tour with some dates. It's a little fuzzy. It's not HD. Obviously, it's not the finished product. But what's really interesting, and because I don't like sharing rumors, because what's the point? You know, just to be disappointed or, you know, with this band, there's a million rumors. You're not gonna, you're gonna be telling fables your entire life. So I only like to announce rumors or talk about rumors that I think are going to happen. So you see uh the monster on the actual cover of Appetite for Destruction, you know, the with all like was it like the teeth and the red monster, whatever, going over the globe. So it's going to be a world tour, even though the dates were and are just the Middle East and in Europe. Now, the interesting thing was, and a lot of people were thinking this is either what made it real or what made it fake, that the tour name is called because what you want and what you get are two completely different things. Now, like many of you, I reacted to that with, what? Are they trolling their own fans like on purpose? Because sometimes we fans can read into things and think that they're saying things, but this seems to be like a pretty obvious, or it seemed to be a pretty obvious, like, okay, what? You're saying that fans want a new album and instead we're getting another tour? Why would you do that? However, I wish I can credit the guy on my GNR forum who first pointed this out, and then I shared it, and it kind of picked up steam from there. Because no one really goes on unless you're a forum guy, you're not really going to peruse it. And I get, you know, I definitely credit whenever I see great information there. It's still I enjoy going on my GNR forum. They're still supportive of me sharing my podcast on there, but I digress. So this person remembered a 1985 flyer at the Music Machine, Friday, December 20th in 1985. So nearly like 40 years ago. This is with Tex and the Horseheads. I'd be lying to say if I knew who they were. And underneath it says because what you want and what you get are two completely different things. You might have to learn this lesson later. And it says also send your donations to Guns N' Roses Keep Us Out of Jail Fund, 9000 Sunset Boulevard, Suite 405, Hollywood, California. I mean, and it's pretty clever, I think, and I think it's simply a nod to 4 decades of Guns N' Roses. Yes, the flyer has Steven Adler on it. It has Izzy Stradlin on it. Do I think they're gonna reunite the classic lineup? No, I don't. I don't think that for a second. I don't know. I'm not an insider. I get sometimes people t reaching out to me with information, but I don't consider myself an insider. I've never spoken to anybody, um, in Team Brazil, or so I don't ever want that to be construed because people will ask me things like I am an insider. Not. I guess it may come off that way with the people who I interview, but I'm just a fan who happens to be in radio, who's been doing this podcast for as long as this reunion has been going on. So I think it's a nod to 40 years as a band. Now, well, I still hold out hope that Izzy and Steven will show up for guest appearances. That's a hope. Do I think that's going to happen? I'm leaning towards no, but the hope is out there. Now, of course, a lot of fans want what we want is new music. Do I expect new music? I do, but I don't know how that's going to happen. And that's something that Slash and Duff has said. Whether it's going to be an album, I don't know. If it's going to be an album, man, this is going to be, I think at this point, it's got to be like a double album, a triple album for this amount of time. So it could be, is it going to be more reworked Chinese democracy material, which some people like, some people don't. Uh, I think it might be more of that. I really don't know. It's going to be all new material. So that's going to be part of the guessing game of 2025. But let's focus on what we do know. GNR back in business next year. I'm excited, and for a couple reasons. One, because for the podcast, as you may remember, I love doing fan reviews, especially in other countries. So wherever you in the world you're going to see Guns N' Roses, that you're going to see them, whatever country you're going to, even if English is not your first language, if you're comfortable enough coming on the podcast to talk with me and tell me about your experience, let's do it. So I'm hoping to hear from fans from all these countries. Where are they going to be hitting up? They're going to be hitting up the first time Saudi Arabia, Lithuania, where else? Bulgaria, Serbia, Turkey, Portugal, Spain, Italy, Czech Republic, Germany, the UK, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Poland, Hungary, and Austria. Yeah, Poland. So when the dates first leaked, my wife, who loves to travel, she's like, "Let's go to one of these countries." I'm like, "Okay, sure, if you're willing to do that." So we were first thinking Poland because I'm primarily Polish, and I just thought it would be cool to see in the motherland, but that does not line up with her schedule for next year. She's a, if I haven't, I'm sure I've mentioned it, but she's a dance teacher for little kids, for like 3-year-olds to high school, and like every summer there's recital and performances and everything, so she just knows when she can and can't go. So Poland's out right now. So right now we're looking at the last 3 dates of the tour that we could possibly go to. Maybe 3 or 4 dates. She's like, "How many shows do you want to go to?" My answer was like, "What? What are you talking about?" Because she's a crazed Dave Matthews fan who will go somewhere and see multiple shows. I mean, I've just never done that, even when they're in New York. I'm just like one concerts makes my wallet cry. As far as the money, but my wife says like I just got picked up a residency. She did dancing, teaching dancing in school just so she can travel and see concerts. She's dedicated. So um, right now we're looking at Austria. I'm a third Austrian, which is cool. See that motherland as well. But when she's like, "How many shows do you want to go to?" The only one that would make sense for us to also go to if we're going to go away for a week would be also Bulgaria. And she's like, "I've never, like, wow." She's like, "Out of all the countries I'm thinking about going to, but I hear beautiful things about Bulgaria, beautiful things about Austria." So that might happen. And what's cool is one of the coolest things about this tour are the opening acts. Guns N' Roses is great with the opening acts. Sex Pistols with Frank Carter. Of course, Johnny Rotten he's not involved anymore. Him and Steve Jones haven't spoken in like 2 decades. And Public Enemy, Flavor Flav liked my Instagram where I tagged him. It was a picture of him recently with Axel at, you may have seen a lot of new pictures of Axel at the F1 race in Vegas. Yeah, I know Axel. Can you see Axel? Axel. I thought we were close. Axel. No, you don't want to see Axel. Uh, and I tagged Flavor in that. You want to go down? You want to go down? You don't want to be my co-host anymore? Want to go play? You will come back? I've been trying so hard to get in this episode. Does this make noise? No, I don't want this to make noise. We got to limit the noise here. People are actually going to listen to watch this, so we got to limit it. I'm sorry, baby. Oh, well, you know what? Fine. You're going to get a kid's toy in the background to keep them. It's either that or crying. I've been trying to. I wanted to talk about this as soon as the dates were announced, but I've been playing a lot of stay-at-home dad while I work from home. But my wife's just been out a lot, so it's just it's been difficult. Hence me recording with him now when he's just had a bottle, he's eaten, he's a little calm. Uh, but I digress because I'm just so excited to take him next year, wherever in the world it is, whether it's Bulgaria, whether it's Austria. I believe that they will. I don't know, have any inside information that they will announce more dates. Whether that's more in Europe, I don't know. I like to think that they will announce U.S. dates at some point. Probably they'll. I got to imagine like next year at some point they'll announce more dates. Rumors of a Vegas residency at the Sphere, which would be awesome and expensive. So there are just rumors of that. I again, I have no actual idea, but the fact that this rumor came to fruition and very funny because as a sleep deprived dad, GNR just announced the teaser video of the tour like this past Saturday at 4 a.m. And I just sleep deprived, getting up random times, and I just look at my phone. I'm like, GNR just posted 5 minutes ago. Beep 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 beep. That's what my phone doesn't do. Um, I just decided I just was on it right then and there. And then the next day so I mean I'm just glad that because fans were getting upset that people were asking me should I make plans to travel with these leaked dates and like why would I think you should wait till things are official from Live Nation. So it's just I'm excited. I'm just excited for next year, whatever comes, whether it's with new music, just the fact that Guns N' Roses are still together. Axel and Slash are still together. You know, Scotto and I, we started this podcast right before the reunion started in 2016. And everyone kept thinking that this was going to end, that this tour was going to, was it going to last more than one show? And here we are, almost 9 years later, and they're together. So I'm going to take it for what it is. I'm going to enjoy this. Um, I'm just going to take it for what it is. I can't wait to take Harrison to his first Guns N' Roses concert, whether that's abroad or here, has yet to be determined. But he will be seeing Guns N' Roses. I'm sure won't remember any of it, but he'll have plenty of pictures and video that I plan to take. Let me know when you're going, because I put it out there. Do I have friends in all those countries that I've announced? Are you interested in doing a podcast? If I show up there, maybe maybe you run a bed and breakfast that you'll let me, my wife, and baby Brownstone stay in. It's good to have friends all across the world, Guns N' Roses fans all across the world. One of the best parts of doing this podcast is to meet all of you. And just to wrap up this short episode, I hope all of you who celebrate had a great Thanksgiving. Of course, Christmas is coming up. Hanukkah is coming up. I got to say it with my background. Hanukkah is coming up. It's hard to book guests around this time. So a lot of people are with family. So just stick around. Always asking, always seeing who's around, maybe booking already for next year. The conversation continues always in between the broadcasts, in between the podcasts on social media, Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram. I even signed up for Blue Sky or Blue Ski. I don't update it as much because it's too much. So the mains, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, afdpod.com. a website with all updated news and clips there for you to enjoy. And I'm really staying on top of YouTube as well. Me and my buddy Graham from Scotland, who said he's gonna actually, I think he's going to Florence for to go see Guns N' Roses this year. It would have been nice to meet up with him in Florence, but I just can't make the dates work for my wife and I. But he and I are working hard on the website and on YouTube. So we're making classic clips, like kind of repurposing them. Episodes that you may have forgotten from 2018, 2019, or more recent, in 10-minute bite-sized chunks for you to get to the meat of the interview and some of the best stuff that's been shared on the podcast. And of course, like those 1-minute shorts that I make. So the content is coming out, even though the podcasts have been just slowing down this time of year, which it usually does. But we'll be back up. I mean, we got to get to 500. We're getting there. That's insane. Already thinking about the guests and the conversation for 500, but we'll tease that more when we get to the 490s. We're not quite there yet. So, meantime, let me know where you're going to see Guns N' Roses. If you're going to see Guns N' Roses, some of you are saying it's going to take new music for you to see and to buy tickets. Okay, let me know. Hit me up on social media. Put it in the comments section on YouTube, the AFD podcast at gmail.com, and the conversation will continue until the next episode. When will you hear that? In the words of Axl Rose concerning Chinese democracy, I don't know if soon is the word, but you'll see it.
Thanks to the lame ass security, I'm going home.